Hi. All right. Well, before we get started, I just want to say that I'm missing a poker game. Well, I'm not missing a poker game for this. We were going to reschedule poker to Wednesday night. And I said, and it was Texas Hold'em. Texas Hold'em. And I said, well, I have an info session for the Texas Yoga Retreat, so I won't be able to make it to the game. So I hope somebody comes on. And also, this, okay, how do I do that? This is what I find 4 to 5 of per day in my yard. This avocado is almost the same size as my head. That's a really big avocado. And that's how big they all are. And they fall down every day, several times a day. And so now I've just been mashing up avocados every day with a little bit of lemon. I looked it up on the internet, and freezing them. I have like those big ice cube trays that are for cocktails. I don't know who would use those. But anyway, those kind of ice cube trays, and I just fill them up with this avocado mush that I make, and then I have like these little cubes of avocado mush, and I've got lots of them, so they're going to last us all winter long, and I'm looking forward to serving avocado toast to all of my friends, and often at Cafe Cita. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit. Hi, Pamela. You are like my faithful, awesome live broadcast audience. But I wanted to talk a little bit about this retreat that I go on every year. I believe this is my, God, I should have counted. It's like maybe my 6th time, I guess, Texas Yoga Retreat. And I don't really recall exactly how I was first invited. I believe that Charles McInerney, who is the organizer of the Texas Yoga Retreat, I think that he invited me the first time through my affiliation with International Association of Yoga Therapists, and so I think he invited me that first time to give a little bit of like the yoga therapy side of it. So I just showed up because I wanted to, and I'm sure I taught some things that first year. I did. God, I taught like developing Bodhisattva and something else, some other like cool, I think introduction to mantra. I think that's what I taught. A couple of maybe another thing. And it was just like, it was so positive. It was so loving. It was so friendly. You should go, Pamela. And listen, if I have your email address, which yours I do, I'm going to give you a special incentive to go at the end of this. So anyway, so I went that first year, and I just loved it. I mean, right away, I just felt so welcome, like so they have this phenomenal model. First of all, I just want to talk about the model. There's this group called the Living Yoga Program. I think it's called Living Yoga Program, and that's a teacher training program. It's done by Ellen Smith and Charles McInerney. And I don't know if I have this exactly right, but it's like several intensive modules, and they come for these different 9-day intensives, and I'll talk about where they come to in a minute. But they come for these 9-day intensives, so it's the kids on the teacher training. I call them kids, but right in the middle of that, on the weekend, they create what's called the Texas Yoga Retreat, and they have all these teachers fly in. Lots come in from Texas, but people like me fly in, and we come in for the weekend, and we teach all kinds of things. I know this year I'm teaching like introduction to the Chakra system. I'm teaching an introduction to yoga-based therapy. I'm doing something on Sanskrit pronunciation. My friend Evie Vertig is doing the Tao of Dharma. Some of my favorite new friends that I've met there are coming. So Victor and Janet Perichin are coming, and they'll be teaching on things like meditation and Ayurveda. And so you have all these teachers that Celeste O'Neill, I don't know if she's coming this year, but she comes almost every year, and she does the most amazing Kundalini class, like hands down ever. Deb Kearns comes every year. So she's this incredible, like powerful, this like dynamo goddess woman who's like a public speaker and a public health administrator maybe, and also has like just studied yoga and contemplation all over the world. And she comes and she does this just incredible like dance movement based kind of stuff. It's just really fun, high energy. So you have these same people that come every year, and they come and they just plop them, they drop down right in the middle of these people having their yoga teacher training. And so we come in for the weekend, and then we leave, and the people go back to their teacher training. So there's just a really nice, the model's really nice. It's a really nice feel. They invite a lot of the same people back year after year. And I'm also on the board of Yoga Service Council, which is another phenomenal organization with another great conference that I'll talk about when that gets closer. But, one of the things we've been talking about is building that community feel. And these guys just do such a phenomenal job of that. Like, the dining hall is this really small, manageable dining hall. The food is made by this woman, Jo, every year, this incredible vegetarian, and I think she makes vegan and gluten-free options and all that. But you're in for the little bit of the Texas Yoga Retreat, you're just in this little dining hall. And so it just feels really good and easy to walk into. And then so that was really cool the first time I ever taught there. And then also the way the students are ready, there's not a jadedness that happens often at other conferences that I've taught on, whether it's been at the Yoga Journal conference or the Yoga Alliance conference, or I don't know, just other conferences where it seems there's this sort of jadedness, and it's what do you got for us kind of thing. The Texas Yoga Retreat, the students are nom, 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 nom. They want all the info, and they're just humble and open and excited, and I've met incredible people there. It's not they're newbies or less accomplished than the people at these other national conferences. They're every bit that, doing incredible work in their communities and just super excited to learn. So I love that about it. Then you go, the place is called the Radha Madhav Dham. And the Radha Madhav Dham is the largest Hindu ashram, operating Hindu ashram in the United States. It's outside of Austin, Texas. It is gorgeous. I don't know how many acres. I'm bad with that sort of thing. But it just all over, all the rooms are really beautiful, and the places we do yoga are really beautiful. But then there's just this ginormous, gorgeous temple right in the middle of it with pools out back, and then these huge old almost Grecian looking pillars. There's peacocks walking all over the grounds, and it's an operating Hindu ashram. So not only are there lots of Indian folks coming from all over the country and all over the world to come into the ashram, but also there's lots of devotees that live there on the campus. Okay, so that's another two things I want to say. So first of all, the Indian influence isn't this is Indian inspired, and we have a couple Shiva statues around. They actually tried to really replicate this place to Vrindavan, where all the stories about Krishna take place, and the people who come are devout Hindus, devout Indians and Hindus. Again, coming from within the United States and outside the United States. So it's operating as a Hindu center, a cultural and religious center. But then the other piece is that there are the devotees that live there. And now I've got to visit a lot of ashrams in the time that I've been doing this whole yoga thing, and also over in India. And let me tell you something. Yeah, it's funny, people that go to ashrams. And in my mind, you can tell a lot about the guru based on the people that are at the ashrams. And more often than not, it's been my experience that the people at the ashrams are really uptight and rule based, and just shh, sit down, don't do that, or they're just walking around I don't know, holier than thou or something. But the people that live at Radha Madhav Dham, they seem whatever it is they're doing with their guru is actually working, because they're just happy, and they remember me year after year, and they're so friendly and welcoming, and they'll answer any questions. They never presuppose that you know everything, so then you feel like a dork because, whatever, you didn't go up to give your firing offering at the time you were supposed to. So that's another thing. So I love the community. I love the teachers. I love the location, the Radha Madhav Dham. I love the devotees that are there. So every year when I go back, I try to rope other people in to come with me. So I've had several people come. My brother Michael came one year, and then the next year actually came back and presented with me. My friend Sarah Brownell McWilliams, that some of you might remember from Samaria Center, might know from Samaria. She came one year. Genevieve Hicks came 1 year, and that same year, Ninu came, a student who was from Pakistan by Canada. So there's been different people that have come, but I've always just had this dream of like a whole bunch of us going there in community together. And so we could just enjoy the ashram together, and we could enjoy community together, and then we could enter into the Texas Yoga Retreat. So this year I offered something different. I proposed something different. My friend Evie Ferdig, who's an incredible teacher, a human being, I encouraged her to write a proposal and propose to also teach at the retreat. And she was accepted, and she's giving several really cool classes. I know she's giving the Tao of Dharma, and she's also doing yoga for anxiety, and she's doing a morning class that's basically a metta meditation class. And so I invited her to come along, and I was like, Evie, let's do a community thing together, where the night before the actual retreat starts, we'll have a pre-community retreat, so that we can really avail ourselves both of being in community with one another, with the Samaria and Unfold and extended community, but also we can really spend time on the ashram, which once the retreat gets started, you don't have as much time to go in and participate in the ashram offerings. So we decided to do that, and we worked with Charles and Ellen, and we got discounted rates for the rooms the night before. And I see my sister Erin just joined. Erin, you should come on the Texas Yoga Retreat with me. That would be perfect. That would be awesome. So we got some rooms for the night before, and then Ellen and Charles also generously gave us a discount code for the retreat weekend. So you could get just the retreat weekend with the Texas Yoga Retreat, or you could buy the package that EB and I are offering, and I'll stick the URL to it in the comments, but it's in my website, mollylandandkenny.org. So you would actually show up Thursday night, the evening before, hang out with me and EB. We do some kirtan and some satsang. We talk about community. We eat it, share a delicious meal. And then the next day, you'd get the opportunity to work with me and EB again. And then, oh my God, somebody so cute just showed up at my house. This is my best friend right here. Mira. Es Valeria. Yes, no sé. Alguien. ¿Puedes encender la luz, por favor? ¿Pero quién es? Es mis alumnos, mis amigos por Face. Some of you actually know this little girl. Sí, porfa. Aquí, esta pasilla. So then you'll, no, el otro. Oh, sorry, hang on. I asked her to turn on the light. She turned it off. Yeah, exactly. All right, there, much better. So then we'll start doing the classes the next morning, and then I'm teaching 2 classes, and EB is teaching 2 classes, and then we would join in with the regular Texas Yoga Retreat. So and Richard Hammer, I see, is on the call. Richard Hammer came with me to India. It was an incredible experience, an incredible trip, and I'm thrilled to know that he's joining us for the retreat. So that's why I love the Texas Yoga Retreat. That's why I would love to entice any of you to come and join us. I know it's expensive, and you have to fly, and I mean, it's all expensive. I know that, and I don't diminish that. And at the same time, if there's any way that you can swing it, man, it just feels so good. The space feels so good. The teachings feel so good. The food's so good. The community's so good. The peacocks are so cool. So anyway, I don't know if you guys have any questions. I just really wanted to share that with you. And yeah, and as I said, I gave up my Texas Hold'em game tonight to talk about the Texas Yoga Retreat. And if you weren't here at the beginning, here is an avocado. It is as big as my head. So, all right. Well, if no one has any questions, I'll go ahead and just close out now. What are the dates again? I should have that right off my head. But the dates I believe are October 18th through the 22nd. Through Sunday. And yeah, so, and you can find it, I'll give you the whole long, the exact URL, but if you go to my website, mollylandandkenny.org, and look under retreats, you'll see it right there. And then you can also look at to be able to see the full, oh shoot, I'll be in Iceland, says my world traveling sister. Shoot is right. Was the ashram affected by the recent storm in the areas? That I don't know. I haven't seen anything about it. So yeah, I don't know, Richard. Good question. You know, I don't know Texas very well. I know that it's huge, and I know that Austin is really far from Houston. So I don't know, though. How are you? You're in Florida. That seems at least as much the question. Or, I mean, it's like Armageddon, right? Because Aaron's up in Washington. I could say, like, how are you? Like, everything's on fire there. So, anyway. All right. Well, thanks, folks, for joining me. I really appreciate it. And I like doing these live Facebook posts. If you have other, oh, good, Richard, good. Well, you're very resilient, too. If you have other things that you would just like me to share online, I have a wealth of information. And it's fun talking to y'all out there and sharing my avocados and my kids. And if my cat was around, I'd be sharing him too. So, all right, everybody, good night and thank you and have a super good evening. And send me an email if you want, mlk@mollylandandkenny.org. Whoops, mollylandandkenny.org. And I'd be happy to give you any more information that might be helpful for you. So thanks so much. Buenas noches. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Bye.